Good morning, friends. It's Miss Sam again. Today we're going to talk a little bit about space. There's lots of planets in our solar system. There's actually 8. There used to be 9. So we will talk about our last planet later on. But the planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Our last one that we said bye-bye to is Pluto. So I have a short little way for you guys to remember how to say our planets. My very educated mother just served us noodles. So that's the way, if you take the first letter, you can remember the planets in order. First planet we're going to talk about today is Mercury. And Mercury is the smallest planet. You can see here on our solar system, he's way down at the bottom. It's very close to the sun. There's no air on Mercury, so do you think we could live there? We couldn't live there. It's made of iron, and since it's close to the sun, it's really hot to where water would boil. But then sometimes it's also freezing cold there too. It's 36 million miles away from the sun, and it's still so hot. Do you think you could walk on Mercury? No, you couldn't. You would float. And they don't have a moon on Mercury. You can see Mercury has these craters on it, and that's from many years ago. Craters falling, or the craters were formed from meteors falling and hitting. Here's the astronauts that are floating, and they're preparing to take off into space. We can look at our whole solar system, and we're going to talk about some more of the planets. But again, here is Mercury, really teeny tiny and super close to the sun compared to all the other planets. Next, we're going to talk about Venus. It's closer to the sun than Earth, so it is a lot hotter than Earth. It's similar to size, and you can see that it's got a lot of blue on it, and it's made out of the same materials as Earth. It's made out of metal, and it's made out of rock. But you can see that there's clouds on there. Those clouds are not made out of water like our clouds. They're made out of acid, which would hurt our bodies. We do not want those clouds. So that's why we could never go to Venus. They have mountains just as we do. But most of Venus is covered in lava. There's nothing there. We do have volcanoes, but our Earth is not covered in lava. Here is Venus. You can see it's close to the sun as well, but Mercury is still closer. Next, we're going to talk about our planet. It's Earth. Our planet is mostly covered in water, and you can see there's lots of land. You can see here is the core. This is the middle of our planet. Then we have the mantle, which is the underneath our crust. The crust is the top layer, and that's what we walk on. That's what we live on. We live on the crust. You can see that we have continents. We have 7 bodies of land on our Earth, and that's where we live because we don't live in the water, right? Did you know that one day here on Earth takes 24 hours? And it's 365 days for us to go around the sun. We only have one moon, and we are the only planet with water. Here's our 7 continents. Here's lava like that's all over Venus, but we just have some volcanoes, not a lot. Here's our picture of our solar system again. So we've now talked about Mercury. We've now talked about Venus, and here's our little Earth over here. Our last planet that we're going to talk about for the moment is Mars. We can see Mars in the sky. We don't even need a telescope. It looks like a big, shiny star. You should try to go outside tonight and look and see if you find Mars up there. It's the brightest shining object in the sky. You can see here that here is Earth. That's where we live. And here is Mars. It's close to us. Scientists someday think that we could go to Mars. Would you want to go to Mars? You'd have to take a big spaceship and fly all the way there. We have gone with machines called rovers, and we've started learning how to build our spacecraft to fly there. But it would take 150 to 300 days to get there. Here's one of our rovers that landed on Mars, and it's going out to explore. They have a North Pole and a South Pole, just like we do. But there's no air, so we'd have to wear a spacesuit if we went there so that we could breathe. This is what it would look like if we could live on Mars. We would have to have a spacesuit, and we'd have to have a rocket to get there. Here's our solar system. We've now learned about Mercury, Venus, Earth, and little old Mars.